So why has PSG not clicked? I mean, there are so many different reasons why teams don't gel, when they are put together, whether it's a haphazard approach by the sporting and technical directors, although in this case, I don't believe that's truly the case. There's a variety of reasons I think PSG have failed to click. I mean, you've got a new coach, Christophe Galtier, did a great job at Nice, I believe, but I mean, I don't know if he's a world class coach. I don't know if he's capable of coaching or managing, I should say, world class stars. I mean, when you have a front three of Neymar, Kylian Mbappe, and one Lionel Messi, you would think that you would just be dominant across the board. But I mean, as with any team, you need to have a balance. You've got a solid defensive unit. I mean, you pretty much have Marquinhos, who's excellent. I have a huge amount of respect for Marquinhos in the middle of the back line. You have Sergio Ramos, arguably one of the best defenders of all time. Granted, he's 37, not quite, have the pace that he used to have. Not that he ever had a ton of pace. But he's a committed defender, and so somebody who brings that experience to the back line. I mean, I will be honest, I think Donnarumma is phenomenal. I think that was a phenomenal signing on their part. He's a phenomenal goalkeeper that I absolutely love to watch. But then, I mean, Ashraf Hakimi, arguably one of the best fullbacks in the entire world. I mean, Nuno Mendes, who's been incredible and super fun to watch as well on the left side of the defense. So they have a solid defense. I mean, I don't think that that's necessarily been their Achilles heel this year. To me, it's midfield. I mean, I love Fabian Ruiz. I think he's a phenomenal player. I like Danilo Pereira. He's also a great player. But I think Carlos Soler, Vitinha, I think Marco Verratti has even lost a step, who I absolutely adore. One of my favorite players in general, although to commit pretty much your entire formative years with PSG as this project that, to be perfectly honest, has failed in their, main objective, which was the Champions League. They've never won the Champions League since the project, was taken over. It's a tough one. I mean, I don't really understand why they haven't clicked. New coach, new tactics. Honestly, to a degree, hodgepodge group of players coming in as superstars, or maybe it's egos. I don't know. I mean, I can tell you with Kylian Mbappe, it's definitely ego, because that dude has the biggest ego on the planet without question, as it relates to football. And that says a lot when you have Cristiano Ronaldo still playing, who also has a massive ego. But to me, I mean, injuries play a part. Neymar's been in and out this year. You've had injuries in the middle of the park as well. I mean, you can say that really about any team, but for me, it's one of those where I think PSG is a great group of individual players who are not a team. That's, to me, what boils down to. I mean, you look at Arsenal, for instance, in the Premier League, currently leading the Premier League, 6 points ahead of Manchester City. They have an incredibly young squad, but they have a team. They have an identity. They have a work ethic that I don't see at PSG. I see just this kind of loose-knit group, and it's sometimes hard to watch. I mean, I'll be honest, like, they're only, I believe, 6 points ahead of Lens surprise package in the Ligue this year, but yeah, they're only 6 points ahead. I mean, obviously, the title in Ligue is pretty much guaranteed. Let's just be honest, it is what it is. But they're not going to win any of the domestic trophies. They've been knocked out of those. They are out of the Champions League in the round of 16. I mean, when do we consider this new project, with this front three, a failure? I personally think it is a failure. I don't see it actually being successful in any capacity. I mean, you win the league. Okay, great. That's basically a foregone conclusion. So what exactly does that accomplish? Is Lionel Messi even going to be there next year? I mean, his contract runs out. I mean, I know that they're in discussions to renew his contract for another year or two. And I know he wants to continue to play in the Champions League and at the top level. So I don't see him going to like a Saudi Arabia like Ronaldo did for, obscene amounts of money. I know he was offered like 450 million pounds a year. But yeah, I think I don't think there's any teams really. Manchester City maybe, but I don't think they would want him in this moment based on who is in their squad. I don't think there's any other teams in Europe that can afford Messi, and I think he, despite him probably not wanting to stay in Paris, will probably be there for at least one more year before he makes a move to, I would imagine, MLS in the United States, play for Inter Miami. I know they offered him like equity shares, part ownership of the club, and pretty amazing contract as well. I would imagine he goes there, to be perfectly honest. But I would imagine next year he'll be there. That said, I still consider this entire PSG project from the beginning, when they were taken over in 2005, I think it was, to now just a complete and utter failure. They've never won the Champions League. They've only been in the final once. This vaunted front three, was going to take them to the next level, and all these incredible free signings they had, or I guess Bosman signings over the summer. I mean, like Donnarumma, Messi, Ramos. Just incredible group of players was supposed to take them to the finals of the Champions League. They get knocked out in the round of 16. I mean, for me, I don't really get what is going on with PSG, but in my opinion, they're just a complete failure this year, have been for many years, and I don't see a tactical approach or a strategy in place that will essentially get them to that level they yearn for so intensely. So for me, I don't see them anywhere near the Champions League trophy in the next 5 years unless they have a drastic change of approach. They'll continue to win League One, but really, no offense, but who cares? So for me, they failed this year. They failed in the past many years, and they're just not clicking as a group. So we'll see where they are next year. But right now, utter disappointment for me, and I think for a lot of fans of PSG that did expect them to go a whole lot further in the Champions League and potentially win this year. So I don't know. Messi, if you're still there next year, maybe you can do what you did with Argentina and drag them up, on your back and take them to the Champions League final. But in my opinion, it's just not going to happen.